Buddy, it's Code Grammar here. Today I'm here with my cousin. He's not gonna say hi because he doesn't want to. Um, so yeah, today we'll be learning how to create your own website. This is only part one. Today we'll be learning how to set up all the software, maybe get into creating the navigation bar. So to start off, you're gonna want to go to Mamp. Super awesome name. It's Mamp. I got super slow internet where I am in the house. So you're gonna want to download this for whatever operating system you're running. And when it comes to text editors, you can use whatever you want pretty much. So I already have Mamp installed here. And once you have it installed and you start it, you're gonna want to go to Start Servers. So I'll stop the server so I can start it up again. So now it's going to ask us to start the servers. So we're going to do that, and it should open up a web page. So here we go, we have this web page. It says localhost at the beginning, and it's on port 8888. And so to get to whatever thing you want, you're going to want to go to your Mamp folder. I am running on OS X, High Sierra. But if you're a Windows user, just look for the Mamp folder. Go to Mamp htdocs, and then you can go to whatever directory from then on. And so what the local host runs is going to be in htdocs. So I have this directory here, or folder, called website series. So if we go back there, it's going to be here. Right now we have no files, no HTML, no PHP, no JavaScript, no nothing pretty much. So that's what this series is going to be about. We're going to learn how to run things. Now you don't need a local host like Mamp to run your websites, but if you do plan to use PHP, oh yeah, that's another one I forgot to mention. If you do plan to use PHP, which we will in this tutorial, then you will want to use a local host. Now for your text editor, for doing all the programming, I use Atom. You can use whatever you want. You can use Notepad, you can use TextEdit, you can use Sublime. But Atom is just my favorite right now. I just found out about it and I really like it. So after you get Atom or whatever text editor, you're going to want to open up your project. Atom makes it very easy, so I can press open and go wherever I want. My project is under Mamp htdocs, right where it should be, so that way we can run our PHP, and then website series. I already have that open here, so from here on we can start our programming. Okay, so this tutorial is assuming you know HTML, at least vaguely, CSS, and PHP. You don't need a ton of PHP for this, but it makes things more organized. Possibly JavaScript, but we will see as this series goes on. So we're going to press, a keyboard shortcut on Macs is Command N. That just makes a new one, but I already have one up here. So you're going to want to create a new file, and then you're going to want to save it. I can press Command S or Control S on Windows, I believe, but I can go to File, Save As, but I'm just going to use the keyboard shortcut for now. This is going to be our main site, I guess you could say. It's going to be index.html. Actually, sorry, index.php. Because we will be running PHP. Now, don't be intimidated by this if you don't know PHP. This is just because it needs to run our file. It's just going to look like a HTML file pretty much. So we're going to want to create our HTML tags here, then our head, and then we might want a title for this. We don't really know what we're going to make this website for, but this is to give you an idea of how you can make your own website. In the future, I'll be teaching you how to actually host your website on the World Wide Web. So I'm just going to call this first website. So then we're going to go into the body. And now from here, we don't need anything right now. So we're going to make a new file. And we're going to call this one, and we're going to save it, navbar.php. So what PHP does, it will allow you to make things more organized, because I can reuse this navigation bar all the time pretty much. So I'm going to make this here, and I will be copying some code from my other file. I think it's called, there's this website, I can't remember the name of it by the top of my head, but where they have some really good code for learning things. That's where I kind of based off my navigation bar from. But I will go grab that code over here. So it's going to be in my other project. I'll be using the one from my website. I'll leave a link down in the description where you can get that. So under this, we're going to, well, I'm going to select my navigation bar. So this is how the code will look like. This is unnecessary. Don't be intimidated by this. This will just be the start. So we're going to want to create our div tag here. So this is going to be named as a class for top nav, just for top navigation bar. This image here, that's not necessary unless you want to add it. I will show you guys more in depth how to add these things later, like images and stuff, but for now we're just going to start simple with our navigation bar. So this is going to not really do much right now because we don't have many files. So we can just delete these things here. And we can just have these go to just hashtags. And you can change the text here to whatever you want, just whichever parts you need. Oh, sorry, we actually needed that. Okay, now this will not look like very much. So if we go over to our thing here, so we're gonna go to our directory here as I showed you before. Now we're going to go to navbar.php. Now this looks very bare bones, not very cool at all. So that's why we need to add our styles. So I will be copying and pasting this code. Alright, so I'll run through this with you. So we have our body here. This here just will set all the fonts here. I do have two just in case it doesn't work on some browsers. But just to keep it simple, let's do that. So we have our margin 0 just to stay all the way to the corner. We have our font for the whole navigation bar. And this is the top nav div that we saw earlier, that we made earlier. And we have some different stylings here. If you know CSS, then you should understand this. But this tutorial is not mainly styling. It might be a little bit of styling, but it's mostly how to make an organized website that you can reuse the code in every place. So just to give you a little bit of things. Here you have your colors, your border. This isn't necessary. Your sizes, your position, things like that. So this is going to be specifically for the links, and this is going to be when you hover. So it changes color when you hover. So now if we add this, let's see if this works. Here we go. Now it looks something like this. I do have these colors. We can change them if we want to. Let's just change it to blue just for kicks and giggles. Okay, here we go. It's just blue. So, as you can see, it all works just fine right now. So now, if we go to our index.php, this will be our home page, let's say. We can run PHP here by putting our PHP tag here and write include, and we will do navbar.php. And so what this include tag here, or sorry, include command does, include function will run all the PHP in this file here. So that way, instead of copying the code, all of this here in every single file, every single area of the website, we can just include it in the website. So now if I go to index.php, we should see the exact same thing. There we go, it's the exact same thing. Okay, now we're going to want to put a background maybe. So we can go into our style and make the background. Sorry, I messed up here. Background image. That will be a URL to a page source. So it can be a online page source. It can also be a file wherever your files or other files are located. Let's just do that. It looks like this, and hopefully it fits in our site well. So that's going to be wall.jpg. Let's see, now it just fills up the website completely, and that is probably not what you want. It fills it up to the, I guess, the size that it wants to do, but we want it to just shrink to size. So what we're going to do, let's see, I may need to go back to my other code to clarify this if this doesn't work, but I think we will do repeat, no repeat. This shouldn't make much of a difference. There we go. It doesn't make a difference. But now we're going to do background size, and that's going to be 100%. Let's see. There we go. So now it fits properly in our site. So I guess just to make the colors match, because that's how I am. I need everything to match to look right. So I guess we can close this part up. Instead of blue, let's do I have no idea actually. Let's see what teal looks like. Okay, that doesn't go well either. I'm gonna stick with blue. That looks good enough to me. So we have this background image. It looks pretty plain right now. We might want a button right here, because if you want like a nice modern looking website, they usually look pretty simple. So if I go to this website here, this was a group project. It looks like this. It looks pretty minimalistic, but it looks cool. So that's the kind of website we want, or at least for this tutorial. If this is not what you're looking for, I'm sorry, but I hope you get something out of this. So here we will make a button. So we're going to do it input type equals submit. I guess we can just do class equal to button. Okay, let's see, does this work? Okay, I don't see anything, but that just might be because it's hiding behind the navigation bar. So if we create a style tag over here, we can style this so that way it just fits into your field of view. Okay, so we're going to access this button using .button because that's what we named our class here. And let's make a margin on the left that's going to be, let's make that auto. This, in case this doesn't work, then we will change it to be a little bit more hard-coded. But auto should center it. And so display is going to be block, and then the margin to the right is going to be auto. Display block is to allow the auto to work. Let us see. Okay, I forgot something. We centered it on the left and right, but what we needed was to center it on the up and down. So top is going to be 20%. This one might need to be hard-coded. Okay, so now we see the button here. Now it doesn't look too great, so I said this tutorial isn't much styling, but let's just make a website that looks good. So padding is going to be, let's make that 5%. Okay, that didn't do anything. I think padding, sorry, I'm not a pro at CSS or anything, but I know my way around it, so let's do it in pixels. That's not working either.
2 hours later.
Okay, I'm back. So, I did have some technical difficulties with the button styles, but now I got it working. So now it looks like this. Yes, it looks like that. And that is what we want. Well, at least what I want. You can change this to however you want yours. So it's going to be display block, just as I said before. Margin left, right, top. The background colors, these are just some coloring things. The padding, the font size. Now, I'm still doing some experimenting because I'm not exactly sure why it wasn't working before. So if I get rid of the colors here, it should just do that, which is fine. That's what it should do. So I'm not sure, but I do know this code does work. So you can follow along with this or come up with your own button styles. So now to continue, we have this. Now our next step for our home page is to make a footer. So if you don't know what a footer is, I can use my own website as an example. That is going to be, okay, I kind of forgot the link to that, but I have it over here. I think I have it over here. Okay, so this is the link to, or this is my website here, but this is what a footer is. It's just the bottom of the page where it gives some information, where you can find out things. So that's going to be on every page, but today we're just working on the home page. So we're going to make a separate PHP again, just like we did with the navigation bar. So this might be more PHP to, it might be a little bit intimidating to people, but I think it'll be fine because it's just HTML. We're including it using PHP. Okay, so now we create our body. And we're going to save that as footer.php. So it's very basic code. There's not very much to it. So it's going to be, this is going to be a stationary one, so if you scroll, then it will just stay there. It doesn't move up or down. So all I have here is just a YouTube channel link. It's going to be a div tag here, so we can go ahead and create that. And whatever is in this div tag is going to be our footer, what is in our footer. Actually, I'm going to make this smaller. I'm going to do that H5 or header 5. So this is going to be, let's just have that say website footer. So this is going to have a class name of footer, and we can create our styles down here. So dot footer, and over here we can style this however we want. So what I have for my styling is a fixed position, because we don't want this to move, a left 0, so this is going to be staying on the bottom left corner. Is going to cover the entire width of the page. Is only going to be 40 pixels tall. A background color of teal, although we will change that. And the text align to the right. So that just makes this whole header move to the right. So if we go over here, we do this fixed. It's going to have a width of 100%. It's going to have a text alignment to the right. Now we can just change the background colors. Oh wait, we need this to be on the bottom left. So left is going to be 0 pixels. Now the bottom is going to be 0 pixels. And the height of this, height of this is going to be 40 pixels, just as before. And so now I believe we can test this out after we include it. So we're going to use the same thing that we did here. We're going to do include footer.php. Okay, as we can see, there is nothing here. Let's see, what is the difference? So we have this. We have font family, margin. We are back, guys. I figured out the problem. So what was happening, actually I don't think we need this at all. Yes, we don't need that. It was pretty much invisible because we didn't have a background color. So yeah, that was pretty professional of me. So we can have a background color of blue. And so it just says website footer. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you learned a lot from this video, at least a little bit, because a little bit can kind of go a long way sometimes. And we learned how to set up Mamp, Atom, or whatever text editor you're using, and make a index.php. This is going to be our home page. Navigation bar you can use for all of your pages on your website. And the footer, which also goes on every page of your website. So I will leave links down in the description where you can get Mamp for free and Atom for free if you do want to use that. And yes, I hope you learned all of this well. The background image is just one that I found on Google. I thought it was pretty cool, so I kept it. Right now our buttons do not do anything, they just put hashtags here. But in the future we will learn how to host our website worldwide and create our about, or whatever other ones you'll have. All of the rest is going to be a similar concept. So if you don't want to watch the rest of the series, you can. But hopefully soon I will post the rest of the series. So don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And have a great rest of your day or good night, whatever time you're watching this video. But yes, don't forget to do those things, and I'll see you in the next one.